Good morning. Now that is a way to go live. Me laughing my socks off. Wallace has just walked past me in the nude before I pressed live.
Come back.
No, don't. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Gosh, that were a sight for sore eyes. Phyllis is in the green room just now, and she can see what's happening on my screen. And I don't know why he does it, but in the morning, as soon as I press go live, he decides to like either walk past, or sometimes it'll be mid-show. You won't see him, and he'll be doing like a ninja crawl underneath the flip chart. Who is first past the post this morning? Vicky Head is first past the post this morning. Good morning, Vicky. How are you? Good morning, Kaylee. That is indeed a welcome. Yvonne, not quite this morning. Not quite. Vicky Head was first past the post this morning. Morning Glory. We didn't see any of that. It was just from here up that we saw as he kind of went past this bit here. I'm so excited to see you this morning. I've missed so many beginnings this week. You are not going to want to miss any of this show today, because not only do we have all of the usual shit weather and a bit of an update as to what I'm getting up to. We've got the fabulous Phyllis Woodfine on this morning talking about becoming unstuck using her Triple M method. And at the end of the show today, I have got a very, very special announcement regarding PR for you, my darlings. So if PR is something that you have been wanting to get involved with, but funds might have been tight, or you might have struggled or you don't know what to write, I've got something very, very, very special. It was Wallace streaking. It did, I've got something really, really special for you at the end of this show. So please don't miss it. Do us a favor. Give us a little share, give us a little like, use the love buttons, and let us know whereabouts in the world you are watching from, and also what is the weather doing. The weather. Oh, hey, that's unprepared of me this morning, isn't it? Look, the weather in Preston. Oh, it has the potential for scorchio, but it is a little bit shit. I'm just gonna leave him there. Look at that. There he is. So let me know where you're watching from in the UK. Katie walked early specifically to be able to listen to the amazing Phyllis, and she is amazing. I'm super excited to share her with you this morning. After we've done the shit weather, I will be bringing her through onto the show. Let me know where you're watching from in the UK. Let's scatter us about this morning. Sandra, are you still in Spain? How are things in Spain? Are you still enjoying your holiday? So yeah, PR. Let's talk PR a little hot minute, because you've seen quite clearly the real impact that PR has had, particularly for me. We've had national press coverage this week. We was in a national magazine just 2 weeks ago. We've been on all sorts of online. I say we. I have been on national news. So we've had some really, really great PR wins for IATQB. And PR really has meant that we've been able to turn the volume up on the movement, on the brand, and everything around it. Getting the word out about the Flying Away Foundation is the latest in what we're going to be doing around PR. So it really does impact, if you do have a business, it really does impact how you are seen and where you are positioned in terms of being an expert. So with that in mind, later on, Joe Swan is going to be joining us to share with us a little bit of goodies for you, a little bit of somewhere you can get involved. So let's have a look. Let's do the shit weather. So blue skies and sunshine. Scorchio in Lincolnshire this morning. Where else did I see some blue skies? I saw some blue skies. Costa Blanca is still sun with our gorgeous Sandra still on a holiday. We've got Brum. Bright in Brum with a splash of sassy sun. Let's do it. Let's give Brum a little bit of sunshine there. Sunshine and warm in Banbury. We're a bit shit in Scotland, are we? It's a bit shit in Scotland today. That's all right. We've got a little bee for you up there. There we go. It is warm, sunshiny and warm in Banbury. I'm figuring Banbury sort of around here. I'm making it up. I'm making it up with my terrible. Oh no! Look at this. It's sunny in Kent. Wait a sec. With my terrible geography. There you go. We've got sunshine over in the east. It's cloudy near Glasgow, so it's a bit shit near Glasgow. Let's do this. There we go. Glasgow repping in the house. Hello, north of the wall. Look at this, Tanya. It's moist in North Wales. Does anyone else have issue with that word? Where else have we got? We've got grey, cloudy skies in North Wales. It's a bit shit. It's raining over elsewhere in North Wales. Good morning, Sarah Savory. Do you know what I did? A bit of a blast from the past yesterday. I was searching for a sort of mid-afternoon snack type meal type. I'd not had my lunch. It was late lunch. And for the longest time, I have not had mushy egg. Can you guys, please tell me that it's not just me being strange when I talk about specifically mushy egg. So I'm not talking about egg mayonnaise. I'm not talking about scrambled egg. I'm talking about mushy egg. Some people will call it egg in a cup. So some people will. I remember my friends having egg in a cup. We never had egg in a cup. We had mushy egg on butties, and often because we didn't have like mayonnaise in. But mushy egg is where you would get a couple of soft boiled eggs, chop them up with a fork, and put a big knob of butter in and mix it all up with some salt and pepper. But some people would have it. I remember having mushy egg it's always when somebody wasn't really well, like if you were a bit poorly, you're feeling a bit under weather, you'd have egg in a cup mashed up with butter. Kirsten knows. Mushy egg. Kaylee, yes, mushy egg. Some people call it in like the Liverpool area, chucky egg. Annie knows what I mean. Egg in a cup. Yes. Egg in a cup. It's hot, so you serve it warm. But I had it on a butty and it was a proper blast from the past. I want to know from you guys in the comments, what is something that maybe a parent made you or a nana would make you when you were younger, when you were little, that would make you feel good? There were a couple of things for me. One was corned beef stew, and the other was definitely mushy egg. It's not egg and salt. Maybe egg and soldiers, yeah, like a dippy egg, but it's not a dippy egg. It's mashed up with a fork with a big knob of butter. Kimberly knows what we mean. Chucky egg. See, isn't it strange? The other thing that we used to have, I didn't realise it was called French toast. My mum used to call it fluffy toast, where it was bread dipped in egg and then fried. So I really want to know, wherever you are in the world, wherever you're watching from, what was the one thing? You might think it'd be a bit strange, but what was the one thing that either you would make for yourself that's like your comfort food, or that maybe a parent made for you or a grandparent made for you when you were feeling a little bit under the weather? Now, Wallace, when he's feeling under the weather, he really likes proper, like warm, really, really milky Weetabix. So much so, like it's like porridge. It just really got me thinking. So for Kerry Leather, tomato soup with toasted soldiers and loads of butter. There's something about butter that makes everybody feel better. It's just me. Eggs bread. French toast, yeah, but we didn't call it French. My mum used to call it fluffy toast when we were little. Chicken soup for Sarah Savory. Cheese pie and Worcester sauce Granny used to make. Nice. So there's definitely something about soup, isn't it, that makes you feel better. Tomato soup with cheese butties. Do you know what? It's funny. Daisy does all sorts of things with tomato soup. It's got to be Heinz tomato soup. It can't be any other tomato soup. But she'll put grated cheese in. She's crazy. Is my little Daisy do? Grated cheese she'll put in. Also on tomato soup, I would put what's-its on top, like cheesy croutons. Oh, we're doing all sorts of crazy things. So mushy egg, used to have it in Finland with Karelian pies. Google it. I'm gonna, Effie. I'm gonna. My go-to poorly food is chicken soup, proper hearty chicken soup. Oh, nice. We don't have a word for it in the Netherlands, but I often eat my egg like that, not in a cup, but on a sandwich. Mushy egg. You've got a word for it now, Sandra. Mushy egg or egg in a cup. Corned beef stew. My gran used to make it. It's definitely a northern thing. fluffy clouds, scrambled egg. You can get cloud eggs. We can get lost in food, can't we, you guys? But yeah, I thought we'd do a little bit of kind of nostalgia around sort of food that, you know, maybe your family would make you when you were feeling a bit toast with loads of butter. I think, you know, it's one of those things, toast, isn't it? It's got to be best butter. And for us, it would be like a real naughty treat night. Like Toast Mountain night is a thing. We would have a film and just a whole loaf of bread would go in and we would just eat toast. And that would be it. That would be like super lazy tea. I love these conversations. Right. But we could get lost on this all day, couldn't we? So without further ado, with no clever segue into this at all, I'm going to bring our fabulous, fabulous guest on this morning so we could talk all about her incredible business and what she gets up to. She is a lovely friend of mine. She's also in a mastermind that I'm in, and I can't wait to share her with you. Please welcome onto the show. We've got the fabulous, I don't know why I went I know exactly who we've got. We've got the gorgeous Phyllis Woodbine. Good morning.
Hi, Dani.
Hello, my love. We were getting all caught up in a food conversation. It's very easy done.
I was listening away and thinking, I remember eggy bread. When I used to take kids away camping, we had French toast, eggy bread, we called it.
Yeah, we could have been so much more posh just by switching up what we called it. Oh, darlings, this morning we're going to have French toast. Like it's eggy bread. We're going to, you know, times are a little bit hard, darlings. What we're going to do is we're going to dip some bread in egg and we're going to fry it up and it's going to taste nice. With eggy bread, Phyllis, would you have it with salt on or would you have it with sugar on?
Cinnamon sugar. Lots of cinnamon. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, cinnamon sugar.
See, now you're talking Wallace's language. Wallace would have his a sweet French toast experience where I'm like, get the salt on, or even like salt and a bit of maple syrup if I'm feeling super posh, and then do the sweet and the salty.
That is a bit posh.
Mixing it up, you know what I mean? Right. Enough of the food toast. Let's talk about some stuff that might be helpful to our incredible audience this morning. So good morning. Thank you for joining us, first of all.
My absolute pleasure. And I'm looking at my googly eyes.
So we had Tom Stanhope on earlier in the week talking about how to look into the camera. It's funny because I'm always looking to the side because I'm always looking at my guest as opposed to, maybe I should just look at the camera more, but I don't. I'm looking at you. But one of the top tips from Tom, who's our video content expert, is to help you look at the camera instead of yourself when you're talking, is to put googly eyes on your camera. I love that. I loved it. So Phyllis, tell us about what you do.
Okay, so probably the easiest way to say it now is that I help women. I've had a very varied career, starting off from being a building surveyor in local government to training as an osteopath and many other things. And through that, I've really realized my biggest niche, the thing I really love helping, are women and helping them to move forward and to get in a position where they're feeling better about themselves and their life. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they've got to change anything massively that they're doing, but it might mean that they are going to change something massively, but it's just giving them the confidence to do that. And it's been over a period of time that I've realized that that's really what I love doing. So at the moment, the joy of what's changed in the world and what's happened meant that I've been doing a lot more online than doing all of the hands-on work, because as an osteopath I did a lot of hands-on work, obviously, and I'm also a lecturer and teach and do all of that, but I've decided to really focus a lot more on the women's side of things, because I've been helping a lot of my patients with this, but just doing it almost quietly in the background,
like kind of slide in.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, you know, I've done this NLP training, master practitioner. I'm about to do my clinical hypnotherapy course. I can't believe I signed up to do that finally. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. So using that just to help women, to help them, because, you know, I'm a big champion of us women. We're amazing.
Yes, we are. Yes, Phyllis. So I want to I want to get more specific. So when you say you want to help women, is it women as a broad spectrum? Is it women in a particular space? Is it women? Is it when you say help women, are you talking about in their whole lives as like in a holistic sense, or is it in their businesses, or is it in their relationships? Like, in what space does this help happen?
It is their whole lives. It's really
Mhm.
anything that they want it to be,
Right.
really. I mean, and that's the beauty of this system as such that I've developed, because it is literally taken in all of my 27 years of therapy, hands-on
Yes.
therapy, exercise. I'm a trained Pilates teacher, Tai Chi for health, as
Like
well as
no end to your skills.
I know. I'm one of those. I'm a bit like a magpie. Get
I
everything.
love
Get
it. I love
get
it.
it all in there. Do you know?
Yeah.
I really do believe that we are lifelong learners, and
Yeah.
even if that isn't that you go and get a qualification, it's just generally in life, that you learn things. You're constantly learning things from your children, if you have them, from your godchildren, from your parents, from your siblings, constantly. And it might be that some of it is of more use to you than others, but really all of it's going on in the background there, and can move you forward. And it's just all of the stuff that goes on in life. Sometimes we miss bits. We don't listen to what our intuition is telling us, and it's really that I help women, and it's particularly women. I really do, and I have helped men in the past, but women is my niche. That's what I do, and it's usually women over 40, but actually lots of younger women than that I've helped as well. So all of this stuff said you need to niche. I just talk about women, and
there's do you know what, there's a lot of power in that, because when you say, like, I say this a lot, I help particularly women in business, although I'm an inclusive brand. When you are a woman, there are lots of things, there's lots of tangles that you kind of get caught up in with regards to society, with regards to work. And when you're helping holistically, you're helping every area of the life. Because here's the thing: if you've got issues in your personal life, it knocks on into your work life. If you've got issues in your work life, it knocks on into your personal life. It's all joined up. If you've got issues in your family life, it knocks on into your sex life. It knocks on into all sorts of different areas, doesn't it? So having a system that looks at the woman as a whole, especially when you say over 40s, I find that really interesting, because often people work with the niche that they feel most comfortable with. But when I'm heading into my late 30s now, and I've never known myself as well. And I find so many people pivoting, changing, knowing themselves, owning themselves. And sometimes that could be confusing in itself.
Yeah, totally. And that's the thing. And I think as well, one of the things that often people say is that you gravitate to the changes that you made, and you'll start helping them with that. And as I was saying beforehand, I've had quite a few changes of career. And and that's not been because I'm particularly flighty, which sometimes is what people feel about themselves if they think, I'm not doing what I want to do anymore. It's because we do evolve. And as women, particularly, because we have so many different roles, and I'm sorry for the men here, because I do believe
Don't
that
be sorry for the men, the men that are in my audience are, they're royal bees. They get it. They know.
Totally. Yeah. And that's the thing, is they do have their changes. But the thing is, I know as a woman what I've gone through. Doesn't necessarily mean, I don't have children. I've got godchildren, niece and nephew, who I'm so close to, still are, even though they're in their 20s and 30s. But I can still empathize. I can still, I can still infuse with women. But I know the changes that I've gone through, deciding that I was going to retrain to become an osteopath. And that was after I retrained to do complementary therapies. And I did 5 years of that, doing that part-time, and realized, oh my gosh, this really is something that I enjoy doing. I'm still helping people, which is what I'd done in my original career. When I decided at 18 I was going to go into housing and help people there. But realizing, in my 20s that actually I'm good at this, and the hands-on stuff is something that I can do. Did that, and then sort of like got into my 30s and thought osteopathy is what I want to do. I did a lot of sport when I was younger, and I had injuries, which was it was unusual where I came. I grew up in Peckham, and you know, with a labourer dad and my mum who was a school cook. So for me to go to something that was considered a little bit elitist, and certainly as a black woman move into that sort of thing, it was just like, osteopathy, what do you what's osteopathy? And I had it at that age, sort of like at 15, 16, and it had really made a difference. And although I didn't initially pursue that career, it was always in the back of my head. And when I got to my 30s, I thought, actually, this is the change I want to make. And I decided to do the course, you know, started training. Once I qualified, I then did my teacher training, and I started teaching it as well. And all of that, those were constant changes, but they weren't because I was dissatisfied. It was just that I realized, actually, that there are other things I need to do to move forward.
Right. And there's you know, there's 6 human needs, and one of them is growth. And you know, you often lean in one direction. You know, there's contribution, there's growth, there's you know, there's lots of things. But growth is one of those things that actually, if you engage with, you have the opportunity to help and make the world better all the time with your knowledge that you give. So in growth, you get the opportunity to contribute. So you're actually fulfilling those 2 needs, not just within yourself, but within the people that are in your circle, the people that are around you. It's just such a I think we need to get away from this, you know, oh, you're flighty, or you're, you know, oh, you're picking up one thing and putting it down. Actually, not. You're absorbing. You're taking that one thing and you're adding it into your arsenal of awesome.
Yeah.
Like, you know about this thing now.
Yeah. So Dani, that's exactly what it is. You're adding to that arsenal. I'm going to use that one. I'm going to nick that one. Arsenal of awesome. But that's totally what you're doing. And as a result of that, as I said, I've gone on, done the other things. And with the teaching, it's meant that I've met so many different people in so many different walks of life who've decided that this is the change they want to make.
Yeah.
They sometimes have problems with that, as in they get, you know, a bit bogged down by doing a degree at that, you know, sort of like at an older age, some of them, or the younger ones thinking, oh, is this what I need to be doing?
Yeah.
And so that meant that although I was helping them, because I did student support for about 14 years, I was helping them with stuff and working through and getting them unstuck. I thought, maybe I do need to see if there are other ways that I can help them. And that's why I did the NLP. And it's really meant that more than anything, I've realized that all of the things that I've done over the period of times, that actually they're not separate bits. They, exactly as you say, they're adding in. Yeah, and I'm using all of those, and that's why I've created this, what I call the triple M system, which is movement, motivation, and momentum. And I really believe that that's what we need to be doing in our lives. And that doesn't mean, as I said, that you have to do something massive, become the CEO of an incredible company or anything. You know, if you want to be a stay-at-home mum, if you want to be an entrepreneur, whatever it is, it's within you and you can do it. If you start looking at this movement, motivation and momentum, so just keeping going on with it. And that's how I help women, particularly because I just think that women are the most amazing thing. We have got so much within us, and we really can change the world if we start looking at ourselves and recognizing the awesomeness that is within us, and that arsenal of awesomeness that really and truly is within us, and recognizing that and moving forward. Because often what we do is we don't concentrate on, you know, particularly what happens is, an example will be if you, I don't know, do something and 100 people are watching what you're doing, and 99 of them say, oh my gosh, that was fantastic. And one person says, weren't impressed, it wasn't that good. Chances are you're going to focus on that one who said, wasn't that so good?
that's rooted in a safety thing as well. Like, as an animal, the thing that is less likely to keep you safe is that one person. So automatically your body thinks, well, fuck, they're a danger to me. So all of those people that are saying all these, we do this to ourselves all the time, and it's infuriating.
Yeah.
That you've got 199 people are saying to you, wow, that was incredible, it was life-changing, like, well done you, or that had a really positive impact. That one person, to the bit of your brain that's still an animal, is the danger. So then we eat ourselves up with that one person, but they're not a danger, they're just saying a thing.
Yeah. and that's it. And that part of the getting unstuck is making you realize that you don't need to concentrate on that one. That's not saying ignore it, because there might be something in there. So you can listen to what they say, but it's not focusing on that. Right. And that's a lot of what's changed with it. We focus, exactly as you're saying, to keep safe. Our brain will listen to what's going on there, but it will focus on that. And so one of the things I'll often say to people is, what you have to do is change the narrative. So listen to what they're saying, but then change it and think of it in a really positive way. Swap it round. You know, if they've said that was rubbish, or it wasn't any good. Okay, so what wasn't good about it? How can I help? What can I change? Is there really anything I need to change? So it's just looking at it in a slightly different way. So it's
instead of just going straight to offence and going, well, you're obviously, this is a personal attack on me. And it might be, but it might not be. It might just be that person's, from their perception, from their place in the world, just isn't taking it that way. So I want to explore this triple M method a little bit more, and going back to what you were saying just a couple of minutes ago. There's this great saying. I want to say it's a Chinese saying. I should really cite my quotations better, but when sleeping women awake, mountains move. And we're getting a lot of this right now. Like, right now is such a pivotal moment in history for so many reasons. For anybody who is othered right now, there's this like awakening, and mountains have the potential to move. And it's in this exploration of themselves. You know, there's another saying out there saying, I was something along the lines of, I was excited and I wanted to change the world, but then I was wise and I wanted to change myself. And it's in that work that the real amazing things can happen. So when people come to you, when women come to you, they get the tools that they need to start to do the work on themselves so that they can do the bigger work in their lives, right?
Totally. And that's what it is that realizing that you can do whatever you want to do as long as you start to free yourself up. So you become unstuck. So you start to look at the bits that you are taking on. And this is not to say that any of us are going to be perfect at it. I talk about, and I really can't remember where the quote originally came from, but we
should do this better. Should we just like cite all these quotes in that little quote book?
The worst thing is, as a lecturer and doing on an MSc, you always say, you don't want to plagiarize, you need to quote your references. So
we just have to accept nothing's new news. Nothing's new news. We're just delivering it to more people. It's all good. We're doing the good work.
There is no original thought.
That's it.
Shakespeare nicked it from somebody.
He did. It proper did. So Phyllis, tell us more about this triple M method, because I'm not intrigued because I get it, but I want to share it in a little bit more depth with people so that they can start to have a think about this. And
so totally what I was saying was so we're imperfectly perfect, so we're never going to do anything completely perfect, because perfect doesn't exist. We can have great ways of doing things, but often we'll then find actually there's another way of adding into it to make it even better. So we're imperfectly perfect. So if we start from that premise, realizing we are not going to do something perfectly, but what we want to do is we want to keep moving forward. So that's where the movement, motivation and momentum. So the movement is, and that it physically, it can be movement. I'm not talking about just doing exercise. And I don't often use the word exercise because that has different connotations to different people.
Yeah.
So this is why I talk about movement, and movement can be movement of the mind. So that's you moving your mind forward and recognizing that there are other ways of doing it, changing up the narrative. It can be movement of the body, because physically, once we start moving and getting, getting ourselves up and about and doing stuff, then we start to change. There is evidence to show that that's it. If we move the mind, the body, we start to change things. And often, if you get quite down, and I'm not talking about depression, this is completely different to that, but that point when, you might get up and you're just thinking, take, for example, the pandemic. Right. It has affected different people in different ways. Yep. And some of them, I'm usually somebody who's quite up and, one of those irritating morning people.
I don't know what you mean.
But you can, with this, you found that maybe you're not actually feeling as good as you were, because you're thinking about all of the stuff that's going on in the world, and what and you start to feel a little bit more down and not doing things. And what you tend to do when that happens is your body posture starts to change, and you start to shrink a little bit and turn into yourself, and not
almost.
Exactly. And when you then start to move, to just open yourself up and get you instantly start to feel better. And as I said, I reinforce this is, I'm not talking about depression, I'm talking about that feeling, a little bit down, because there are elements of that it can help with, but this is not clinically depressed people. Sorry.
This is no. And you're dead right. There is a distinct difference from somebody who is unwell to somebody who is. It's physical health and mental health. Just because you can't see one doesn't mean you can't look after it. And it's just like it's like a normal person who doesn't go to the gym very often, doesn't move very often, then wonders why they're a bit stiff. That doesn't mean to say that suddenly they are unwell within their mental health. It just means that they're not looking after themselves. They're turning into a bit of a mental health couch potato. A little bit.
Exactly.
And you've got to look after that mental health just as much as you've got to look after the physical health.
Totally. And so that movement is, as I said, of the body, the mind, doing things and looking at what's going on around you. And then the motivation, the other the second M, that's looking at, okay, well, why is it that you want to do this? How are you going to do this? What are your anchors? Is it for your family? Is it for your friends? Is it for yourself? Is it for the world? So that motivation can come from anywhere, and it's focusing on that and keeping moving with that. And in order to do those things, again, that movement, that exercise, that really the mental health, the mental part of it, as in, what does the mind want? How are you going to motivate yourself to do this? What do you need to focus on? What part of the narrative is it that you need to change? Is it that, you're listening, you've got those two little, you've got the good angel and you've got the bad, on the other side, or the one that's saying, what makes you think you can do this? How can you do, that talking?
Who are you doing this? Who do you think you are?
And we all have that to some degree. It doesn't make any difference whether you're not a multi-millionaire, whether or not, you're the happiest person in the world. You will have an element of this. You've got to recognize
everybody gets it.
Exactly. And it's exactly as you're saying about it keeping you safe. That's part of what it is.
Yeah.
But sometimes it goes too far, and not just keeping you safe, it actually keeps you stuck.
It keeps you shackled, doesn't it? It keeps you stuck exactly where you are. And you could be comfortable, but there's this danger that if you're under a duvet and everything's all lovely and comfortable under a duvet, that's fabulous. You have a lie in and it feels great. And then someone will say, do you know what? Stay in bed all day, binge Netflix, and you'll go on then. And you'll stay in bed and you'll stay under that duvet. And then it's nighttime and then you've got to sleep, and then you get a bit restless because you think, oh, I've just spent all day in bed. And then you give it another go the next day because you're tired. And then all of a sudden it aches to be in bed. It hurts to be in bed.
Yeah.
Because we're not sedentary animals in our minds or in our bodies.
And that's
you'll be
totally
until you die.
Yeah. we are designed to move. We are designed to move our brains, our bodies, everything. And that's what we need to keep doing. And the motivation part of it is looking at what it is that's going to get you to the next stage. And then the momentum is obviously as it is, it's actually doing it, going ahead and doing it and keeping it doing it. So it's a constant thing. And recognizing that you can continue to help yourself, but sometimes we need a coach, we need, you know, friends, we need somebody, we need our cheerleaders to keep us doing it. And it's recognizing when you need those and moving forward with it. And that's what I help women do,
because it's difficult, isn't it, to like motivation is finite. You can be motivated to do something, but then it's that momentum that allows it to keep going. It's like pushing a stationary car. You've got a stationary car, you've got the handbrake off, but you've got to give it some welly in the first instance to get it moving along. It's the momentum that allows it to keep going.
You should be doing my job, Dani. Honestly, you're better at explaining this than me.
I work in words.
I love it. I love
it. but it's in that, isn't it? It's in that allows that real change, and the momentum is often the missing piece that people look for, which is why I think that triple M method works really well. Like, yes, get moving, that's great. Yes, you know, find the motivation to do it, but working out and understanding what momentum actually is and what momentum does for you is the bit that really lights the blue touch paper.
And that's totally it. And that's continuing to visit it and realizing that, you know, you need all of these things to keep on going. And that will be involving the mind, the body, you know, things that are around you. You know, if it's burning, you know, particular essential oils, like I'll talk about neroli. Neroli is one of the most amazing essential oils to help with positivity, to help with the hormonal changes that we get. And you can do that in different ways. You might use it, because I trained as an aromatherapist as well, but that was part of the complementary health part of it.
Your arsenal of awesome.
But yeah, so you might use it for that. You know, it's recognizing and using all of the things that are around you in that arsenal of knowledge that you've got to keep that momentum going, and recognize, as I said, that you're imperfectly perfect, that you might not get it 100%, but nobody ever really does. And that's what keeps us going as humans. That's what keeps us going, because our brains, our bodies are meant to move. They're meant to keep going forward. And also recognizing the fact that at times you're going to, you know, feel a little bit stuck. You're going to succumb to that imposter syndrome, that comparisonitis. We were just talking about it beforehand. You know, for me, it is amazing to see people move forward, people who are in my orbit, my you know, in my mastermind sisters, to see what amazing things you've been doing, and the other women in there. And it is absolutely incredible. And I can't explain how much that buoys me up. But at times I'll then think, oh, what have I been doing? And you know, and so you will get that, but then rather than being stuck in that position, it is then picking up that momentum, that movement, the motivate to then carry on doing it, and recognize this is what I need to be doing. I need to get out there. I need to, you know, I need to do whatever it is for you, but recognizing that rather than getting back into that really close position where you're just not doing anything and you're feeling stuck. And it is a constant work in progress, because we're ever growing, we're ever changing. So it is a constant work in progress.
It's just, and it's brilliant that one of the great things when you have a business, when you find a system, when you hit upon a system that really works for your clients, and you know, it really does allow those light bulb moments that we all live for in this industry, that we all live for, those light bulb moments where people go, yes, I get it now. It's like almost like you've got a set of keys and you say, here's the set of keys. Go and try them out in the different doors. You'll probably find that one of them unlocks it. And the shocked, they go, fucking hell, it does. Oh my God. It's an amazing moment to have with clients when you have those light bulb moments. When people come to you and they're like, Phyllis, I'm stuck. Was the first thing that you do with that person, was the first thing that you know, you get to grips with that person, because you can feel stuck and feel so stuck you just feel like the Tin Man without any oil.
Yeah. A lot of it will be, we might look at, say, a life wheel and where they are now in different stages in their life. So consider things that are important to them. And it is very much about them, not the outside world or what else is going on. It's what's important to you at this moment, because it's giving them time to focus on that. Because often what happens is they're stuck, but they've got all of this other stuff that's going on around them, so they don't have the opportunity to even to look at what it is. They're saying, I don't know where I am, I don't know how to move forward. And
that's another comfort thing, isn't it? I don't know is often a comfort thing, because if you allow yourself to say anything other than I don't know, if you even risk saying I don't know, you're risking opening Pandora's box. There's a lot of fear in the phrase I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
And that's just it. It's often within us, and we have the answers. It's just finding a way to pull those out, to eke those out, so that you can start to realize what it is that you need to do to get unstuck. And that's not me saying I've got all the answers. I haven't. You have the answers, but you need somebody to help you to get those out of you, and also then to direct you to give you help in directing you to where you might need to get that help from. So it's not all from me, but it might, because of all the many things that I've done, there's a lot of stuff that I can give you to help you with it. But it's recognizing when you might need to decide that you are going to do a course, because that's going to give you information about whatever, or that maybe it's a problem with one of your children that has now made it stuck, so this might be where you need to go to get a bit of help with that. But it's initially going through that life wheel, getting them to focus on where they are now, because they've not had the time to do it. They've just got bogged down in that I'm stuck, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know, so I can't do anything, that inertia. So the idea of it, what I'm trying to do is to get them moving from that inertia to get something, because exactly as you're saying about the car, when it's it's stuck there and it's not moving, one person just pushing it is probably not going to do it, but somebody else helping you to push it is going to get it moving a little bit more.
Absolutely.
And that's what I initially do, is help them to start focusing on the things that they need to focus on. And by helping them to do that, opening that door a little bit wider, then they're then able to start pushing through.
Going the rest of the way. And I think one of the beautiful things about your work as well, and you mentioned this right at the beginning of our conversation, is that we stop listening to ourselves. One of the things that we, as women, we do is we seek external validation all the time, because we are given we are told, societally, we are told that we need external validation all the time, with regards to either how we look, how we act, how we what we wear, how much we earn, how we parent. All of this is all, we're seeking external validation all the time, so much so that we become stuck, because we forget that we know. There is a knowing within us that we forget to trust, that we've forgotten how to trust. And I think one of the beautiful things about your work is that, the women that you work with are able to start to trust themselves again, and start to listen to themselves. What is my body telling me? What are these feelings? Why do I feel uneasy? Why do I feel stuck? And actually then when you start to unpick that, like with people like you, when you start to unpick that, actually that's when you can start opening up. When you trust yourself and you know the answers, actually you can step forward in that fulfillment, can't you?
That's totally it. And that is totally it. You get it completely, Dani. It is when we start to trust ourselves and listen to ourselves, and really listen to what we're saying and where it's coming from. That's the amazing thing. That's what can make a big difference in where we are. And for me, it's when you see that moment when I get it, I understand. I realize where I'm coming from. That is so fantastic. And that lights me up and makes me realize that I'm doing what I want to do. I really am
Yeah.
doing not even what I want to do, what I need to do. And
Yes.
it might sound a bit
It's not woo, it's not woo, and we're not apologising for the woo on this show. It is a calling. Service is a calling. Working within a service industry where you are helping people, it is a calling. And it might not be nursing, it might not be, directly practicing, things like osteopathy, but actually when you serve as your job, it's something not everybody can do. It's something, you've got to be kind of called to do. And the work that you do, Phyllis, is honestly amazing. So tell me, what is coming up for you? What is coming up for your business? Tell me the good stuff.
Right. So I've really been focusing on it. This has made me, I really do believe that you have to be, you've got to try and look at what is the world giving you? What is the positive side of things? So the pandemic, this lockdown has meant that I have been focusing on working on this women's work. So I've set up a free group that I have been doing talks in. That's been really doing well. It's taken me a long time to decide on the name, and I faffed and I did everything exactly what I talk about, because I'm not perfect. I'm imperfect. Set up a group, which is brilliant. I'm really enjoying that. That's called Woman to Woman. And so that's going at the moment, and I'm working on a package. So rather than, I still am going to do my individual work, but this is so that I can offer it to more people, which is going to be 6 weeks to a better you. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. And that will be highlighted on my personal page and on my Woman to Woman page once it's out there and ready for people. But that will be soon. So that's what I'm working on at the moment, getting that.
I am honestly beyond excited for not just for all the women that you are going to help, because I know you are, but for you as well, and for all, you've spent all of this time learning your craft, you spent all of this time knowing all of these things, all of these modalities, and you're like this perfect storm of wonderfulness that anybody that comes and gets involved in your group or your course is just going to have such an incredible experience. So many, you're sat there with the keys, aren't you? You're sat there with the keys. So if anybody out there is feeling stuck in that way, please go and find the group Woman to Woman. Phyllis, please would you put the link to your group in the comments?
Okay.
Don't do it right this very minute. It's fine. You can do it when you jump off. So I don't want to be like, you don't have to faff with tech while you're on here. It's all good. I'm the same. It's fine. I have Wallace downstairs. It is what it is. But Phyllis, thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning. It's been a pleasure to share.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it, and I so love your show. It's brilliant. You have been in my world for a bit before the mastermind, as I love watching you do your makeup, thinking I can do that. So I'm loving it, and I love you to bits, darling. You're amazing, and well done on your rock star mastermind. It's just absolutely incredible. And on the ITQB.
Thank you so much. You're an angel. I will speak to you really soon. Make sure you go and check out the Woman to Woman group. Phyllis Woodfine, everybody. Thank you, my darling. That was Phyllis, but don't go anywhere, because I've got a special surprise for you this morning. So stay where you are. Hold on to your knickers, because I teased yesterday in the IATQB Hive. If you are not in the IATQB Hive, you are going to want to be, because I've got another little bit of an announcement after this announcement as well. I told you I had some surprises for you on this show. So let's talk PR, y'all. PR is one of the things that within my business, especially in the last 12 months, has enabled me to reach so many more people with the IATQB movement, what our values are, what, all of the things that we do, and it has allowed us to do things like the Big Festoon. It's allowed us to connect with celebrities within our brand. It's allowed us to raise, after the end of lockdown, we'll have raised over £20,000 for various charities. So for the Big Festoon, it was for Women's Aid. For locally around here in the Northwest, it's for varying hospices. And it's all down to the incredible team that I have got working with me, because no man is an island, and certainly no bee is a hive without having a team of incredible people around. So I want to welcome onto the show, whilst you're all with me, is the fabulous Joe Swan from Chocolate PR, a little cheeky extra special guest for you. Joe Swan, good morning.
Hello. This is nice.
Look at everybody.
Little pop-up.
Cheeky double bubble lovely ladies this morning.
What a nice start to the day. Phyllis is so gorgeous. Like, just her whole vibe. Like, I'm just sat here kind of just, I've just drunk it all in. That was really nice interview.
She's absolutely fabulous. The work she does, honestly, is so game changing for so many women out there. So, so Joe,
yeah,
what brings you to these parts on the Thursday morning?
What are you up to? Why are you here? Well, we had a little chat, didn't we? In terms of, we always like to give goodies to your gang. I love the hive. And this week, because we'd celebrate some amazing PR for you, we saw such a brilliant kind of excitement around PR, didn't we? When we shared your coverage, when we shared that amazing, stunning piece that we had in Fabulous, which
so good.
I'm just loving that in terms of what that piece did, in terms of bringing your values to life, of again, just bringing your story up, but also it really set the scene for where you're going in the future and why you're doing what you're doing. And we were able to talk about the foundation and all of the work that you're doing. It was just like, it was just a massive take on so many levels. Mm-hmm. What I love seeing was, okay, yeah, that PR was brilliant, but the buzz that came from everybody kind of supporting you and going, oh my God, Dani, this is amazing, well done. Like, I love that vibe that comes from the PR. I also noticed that a lot of people were, I think, maybe feeling like it was out of reach for them. Right. So because you are so successful and because you've flown so fast and because we've really hit some big hitters with your PR, I think people see that and they kind of go, okay, yeah, well, that's for Dani because she's flying, it's not for me. Yeah. And I think that's really hit home this week. Because it was the week that we're relaunching our membership. So we launched this in lockdown. To really help people that couldn't necessarily tap into us one-to-one, to be able to have access to PR and to help people see that it can be for them. And I think because we've been talking about that and we've been talking about the power of PR and we've been talking about how it can be accessible for everybody, it's really made me think. So we've got a little treat, haven't we, for some of your audience?
A little cheeky treat for some queen bees and royal bees out there. Jo, tell us what it is, and then we can have a little riff around it.
Okay, cool. So what we are doing is we're opening the membership on Friday, tomorrow. In fact, Jesus Christ, tomorrow. And we are going to offer a queen or king bee, because we do have the lovely Tom in there, an opportunity for 2 months free access into the membership. So completely non-paid for. You don't get tied into any sort of contract. It's literally 2 months free access, because what we want to do is give someone a chance who feels like they're sat on a story or feels like they've got something that they want to share. They've got a message that they want to get out there, particularly in lockdown, because there's still loads and loads of media opportunities.
Loads.
Really has got something that's like, almost there, but they don't know what to do with it. We want to just give them that platform to do it. So we're going to bring them in the membership and we're going to guide them through how to get that out to the media.
And what is wonderful, because I'm in this membership, and I also work with you guys directly, is that the space and the opportunities that are in that membership are brilliant and are super, super accessible. So the thing is, I wouldn't be having any of the PR that I'm having had I not originally done, because I did Dare to Be Seen back in June last year. Can you imagine? Back in June last year, when nobody really knew who I was sort of nationally, nobody really knew who I was. And I have this terrible habit of turning up and people going, where the fuck did Dani, what this come from? But it's in no small part to making sure that I surround myself with people who are really great at picking out the bits of my story, because my story is long. There's a lot. There's a lot.
There is a lot to deal with.
there's a lot, and it isn't even just like the DV and the homelessness bit. That's just this bit of the story for right now. There is so much more, that we've kind of worked on together to make sure that we've got kind of queued up for all of the things that are coming up. But it's that initial work and that initial access and understanding how PR works in the first instance. The membership is brilliant for. in the membership that you can really see how accessible it is.
Yeah.
You know, there are PR opportunities that go in there that you can go and access. There's, you know, trainings that you do in there, updates that you do in there, inspiration that you find in there. It's just a really wicked place. So how can we get involved in this, madam? Tell us more.
What we're going to do is we're going to put a post in the Hive, and what we need to know what stories people are sat on. So we're going to choose the person based on who's got the strongest mission, who has got the biggest passion, who is really sat on something that they're desperate to get out there. So we really want to help someone who feels like, right, this is my time. So we want people to post in the Hive what it is that they want to share with the world, what it is they want to get out in the media. And then from there, we're going to pick someone to give them access into the membership for a couple of months. And that might not sound like a long time, but we've only been open a couple of months, and we've had shitloads of national coverage for people in there. Like,
we shared a little montage that you guys created, and you've had over 150 PR pieces go out for the group in the last quarter, in the last month. 150 pieces, and this is national press, local press, podcasts. This is all sorts. So if you are in the IATQB Hive, you will be able to get onto the post. We're going to pop the post in after the show now. You'll be able to get onto the post. We're going to keep this open until, Joe, you're the boss.
So the membership itself opens tomorrow for a week. So I think we'll keep it open maybe till, I think that people need to act on this. So I think till Monday. So a few days to get the thoughts together, and then till Monday, and then we're going to choose someone to bring in.
Excellent. And if you are watching out there and you are not in the IATQB Hive, now is a pretty fucking good time to join. So for two reasons. One is that after this, you will have an opportunity to get involved and, you know, have access to this membership for 2 months, which is just honestly worth its weight in gold if you have not accessed PR before. This is a really great in. But also tonight at 7:30, we've got the mindset technician Crosley coming in as our expert. It's free. You just have to search IATQB Hive in Facebook, and we'll pop the link in here. And so you can so today's a really cool day in the Hive. So not only will you have an opportunity to get amongst this kind of competition. Is it a competition? It's more of a story sharing situation where we can help.
Even if they don't win it, they've still got a chance to tell everyone what they're
find out about.
So it's worth doing for visibility in that respect as well,
because there's just shy of 1,000 people in there. 1,000 people telling their stories to each other. It's going to make for some pretty powerful conversations happening in the Hive over the course of the coming days. But of course, as well, we've got the fabulous Crosley coming to join us at 7:30 tonight as well. So if you are not in the Hive already, you need to get your backside in there. IATQB Hive. You can see it just here. IATQB. Stands for I am the Queen Bee. Can you believe? But if you search IATQB Hive, come and join us. Come and get amongst it. Those of you that are in the Hive, so many of you are in the Hive, please do. If you're not in the membership already and you want some help with your PR, now is a really good time to be thinking, seize an opportunity. This is one of those times when you go, oh, I've not really got a story to tell. I call bollocks on that, my darlings, because everybody does.
Yeah, dig deep and see what it is. Go from the heart. Yeah.
Well, Jill Swan from Chocolate PR.
Thanks for letting me jump in.
There's something else that we've been working on together. Oh, look at you. No, I don't know anything yet. Wait, hang on, not yet. Wait. So I know what you was getting excited about, and it's that thing that I want to tell everybody about just now, but at 4:00 today, there is going to be some finalists announced for the Great British Entrepreneur Awards. And your girl over here has been I've been nominated for 2 awards. So we get to find out at around 4:00 today whether I'm a finalist or not. And it's totally cool if I'm not. All right, I'm just gonna say it's fine. It's fine if I'm not finalist. It's okay.
So that's pretty damn cool anyway.
So yeah, that's, you know, hopefully it will be really great to make a really nice announcement later on today. But thank you for giving me the strength to go forward for that, because I'm, even though I do lots of really cool things, it's not often that I'll shout about the really cool thing that I've done. I remember you shouting at me about the big festoon. You was like, why have you not shouted about the big festoon more? Like, you achieved a lot. And I was like, but we just did the good thing.
Did it, and now I'm retracting. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did the good thing, everybody. I'll see y'all later. Like, thanks, everyone. And it, you know, and I find again, it's my, that's the bit that I've still got to grow in. That sometimes it's difficult for me to toot my own horn because I just want to do the good things. I don't feel like I need the pat on the head
behind everybody else, and that's the thing. You naturally do that. But yeah, you need some recognition so that more people can get to you. That's what it's for, isn't it? So
yeah. So it's in no small part down to Joe Swan, of course, Joe Maloney on the team at Chocolate PR for, you know, giving me the strength to, you know, go forward with that.
Yes,
after a nomination. So yeah, and we'll find out more today. So fingers crossed. Thank you. Please make sure that you head on into the IATQB Hive and get amongst this. It is such a golden opportunity from our friends at Chocolate PR. Joe, I love you.
Love you too.
Laters, taters. So that was Joe from Chocolate PR. What a show! What a show today. Loads of exciting things, from food that makes us feel lovely and comfortable and warm and snuggly inside, to the shit weather, to the incredible Phyllis Woodfine and a 3M method, and of course to that incredible competition that you can get amongst if you join the Hive. So I'm expecting my phone to go off like the clappers now, with you all joining and all getting. Joe, she's still back there. Will you put the post up and I'll pin it as an announcement in the Hive? We'll get that up there. You can get involved with that competition on Monday. So make sure you use your tab to make sure you get opportunity. And then hopefully fingers crossed, I might have some to share with you all, and of course it's Friday with them. Right, you are. I will see you tomorrow with more of the Shopify Surprise Show, more announcements coming up in the following weeks. Tomorrow we're talking all the things health with Emma Louise Sorry. Please make sure that you join us. She's a fabulous and good friend of the IATV and the show. Please join us. It's about tomorrow. Shopify Surprise Show. I'm Dani Wallace.